It's time for our May 2019 plan with me. The theme this month is ferns, and we are going to do a cutaway cover page, a giant to-do list, and a fern-themed weekly layout. So let's get started. Hey guys, welcome back. My name is Shayda Campbell, and it's indeed time for our May plan with me. Can't believe it's already May, but I'm glad that it's May. If you are new here, I do a plan with me every month, as well as lots and lots of doodling, drawing, and watercolor tutorials, so make sure to subscribe. And if you are not new here and you would like to help me and the channel out, and it won't cost you anything, one thing that you can do is to share my videos. Share them on Instagram or Facebook, or share a photo, or just tell a friend that you love this channel. I would really appreciate that. Okay, so let's take a look through my planner here, and if you were around in April, we did this lemon themed cutaway cover page. I do a cutaway page every month, or a window page, so that was fun. Oh, this poppy themed weekly layout was my favorite weekly layout of the entire year, and I wrecked it because I used a cheap purple marker. Anyways, I was trying to redeem myself and make a new weekly layout that I love just as much, and I did this fern, and I was like, oh, I really like this fern thing. You know me, I love my leaves. So I thought, why don't we make the fern the theme for May? And we are also going to add a fun line of color. You'll see what I mean in a second. When we do these cutaway pages, we always want to plan out with 2 pages. On the top page here, how we're going to do it is count in 10 squares. So mark that. It gives you lots of room. You know where you're going to cut. And then on the page below, that's where we'll place our calendar and our May, and so that I've kind of got laid out as well. And then I put all my goals and affirmations underneath the cutaway page because they're kind of private, but they are a way for me to start the month. And you can see here, if I mark in 10 squares, I am going to put a line of color between those. And the way I'm gonna do that is to take my warm gray marker. You know I love my warm gray, but you could do this in any color or non-color if you're like me. And you're just gonna use a piece of paper to keep your marker line straight, and you sort of have to draw on top of that piece of paper. I sort of missed it the first time, but you can always go back and do another one. And then I just colored it all in. This would work really well with a highlighter. This was not my idea. I actually saw this on the Faber&Castell Instagram feed, and I thought that's such a great idea. And I love their markers because they don't bleed through the paper. So anyways, that's what this looks like. And because I didn't want there to be a big gray line just in the middle of this page, what I did is I just did this nice leafy detail. The theme for this month being ferns, I kind of also did some other leaves and this and that, so I had fun with leaves. I know, it's like, Shayda, you do leaves every month, but I love them. And then I, of course, put my little calendar in the bottom corner here. And then what I'm gonna do is write May in the vertical along the side. And the way I'm gonna do that is to plan first before I start lettering. So I've marked out here these 3x3 squares. And because 3 is an odd number, what I'm gonna do is to mark the middle, I'll use a ruler. So now I've got 1.5 squares on each side. Then I'm gonna mark my waistline. The waistline is where the middle of your letter is gonna be. And I'm putting mine low in the bottom third. And now you're gonna see this come together. When I do the M, I know exactly where the middle is supposed to lie. I know where that waistline is, and that's where the cross on the A will be, or the point on the M. You see what I mean? And of course, you could put the waistline right in the middle as well. Just use a ruler, or you could put it really high. I just like the look of it being low. And then what I'm going to do is just thicken each line just a little with pencil, and then I'll go over it in pen. And I want to take a second to say thank you to Skillshare for sponsoring our video today. Skillshare is an online learning community with thousands of classes in design, business, photography, and more. Premium membership gives you unlimited access to high-quality classes from experts working in their fields, so you can improve your skills, unlock new opportunities, and do the work that you love. And if you would like to try Skillshare, the first 500 people to use my link in the video description will get 2 months free. All right, so there is my underpage. It's all done. All of my monthly stuff, my calendar, and all that is ready to go. And now I can kind of flip back and start working on the top page. So we kind of flipped it this week or this month and did the bottom page first. But if I flip that over, if I fold that, you can see a preview of what it's gonna look like. I think this is gonna be really cool. Full disclosure, I put the gray marker in the wrong spot. So now I'm only moving in 9 lines here. Not that it really matters. And I'll also actually only do about 8.5 so that it covers up that leafy bit that I did. All right, so now let's draw our fern. Now these are not hard to draw. We're just gonna start with a stem. It can be curved a little, and then you do a leaf on the top and then 2 pairs of leaves, okay? It's very simple. Then you're gonna do 2 stems out and a similar thing, 1 on top and then 2 pairs, 1 and then 1 pair, 2 pairs. So those are just the basic shapes, the stems and the leaves. Another 2 branches there, 1 leaf and then 1 pair, 2 pair, 3 pairs on this one. 1 pair, 2 pair, 3 pairs, and a leaf on the end. And I think you can see where this is going. We keep adding, I'm just gonna change the trajectory of the stem a little, but we keep adding those branches and doing pairs of leaves. And every time I add an additional pair for this 3rd branch, we'll do 4 pairs of leaves with 1 on the end. For the next branch, I'm actually just gonna do 4 pairs again. You can always keep it the same for 1 or 2 branches and then continue to add more. For the very last one, I'll do 5 pairs of leaves and 1 on the end. You guys are like, we get it. So there's the leaf, there's the fern. I've just done it very, very rough. And then when I go over it in pen, I'm using my Pigma Micron 05 nib, I'm going to add some more detail, and you can see I make the leaves a little more jagged and give them a little more shape, make them look a little more natural. Although I do think these very, very oval shaped sort of bulbous leaves, those can be cute too, and you can make more of a cartoony fern. I don't know if it's cartoony, but it looks more doodled. And for some people, that's the style they like. So if that's your style, go that route. I like a little more realism, I suppose. And I'm adding a vein down in each one, or just a line in the middle. And you can see I'm just going along here and completing the entire fern. And I've only gone over the line in one tiny little area, which is good because that's gonna make this really easy to cut out. And that's exactly what we're going to do now. I'll put a cutting mat under there. I'll just cut straight along the line, skipping that one little leaf. And then of course, all I have to do is use my my knife here to go around it, make a nice clean cut, and ta-da! I've got my window page with that beautiful gray line underneath. You could do any color, as I said. Obviously green would look good. I'm just afraid of color, as you know, and I love my gray. And I think that looks really pretty, and gosh, yeah, I just really love that. I have erased all of my pencil lines now. And I'm going to take a slightly smaller nib pen in here, and I'll just do a little bit of line shading. I'm adding some very sketchy, very messy lines to half of each leaf. And yeah, I think this just adds a nice contrast to the piece. Even if you plan to color your fern in with watercolor or markers, adding this little bit of line shading can really make it pop and look a little more polished. So I'm all about that. It does not have to be perfect. You can see my lines don't always reach both sides of the leaf, whatever, it doesn't matter. And then I went in on some of the leaves and added some more lines to the other side. I was just getting line crazy over here. So that's just how I wanted to complete mine, and I added a little bit of shading to the stem as well. And that's pretty much it. The fern is this really beautiful motif that is so simple to do once you get the hang of it. Now for the underside, the underpage here, I wanted to just add just a little more decoration so that it didn't just look like this big old line down the center for no reason. So I took that leaf motif and I continued it out into the rest of the page here, still leaving lots of negative space because there's nothing wrong with a little negative space. I think that's how you create a journal that looks calm, if that's your style. And then I just added a little bit of shading to some of those leaves, and that was it. That's it for the cover page and the planning page below. And just a quick reminder that you can get my cover page and print it for your own planner. All of the channel bonus content is available on Patreon for $2 a month. So Ta-da! This is it, and I'm super happy with that. And I'm gonna flip over here and I'm gonna do my typical YouTube calendar. I won't spend a lot of time on this because I do it every month, but what I do is I plan it in pencil first, 3x3 calendar squares, and then I just pull that pen towards my body, so I always move myself around the page or move the page so that I'm pulling the pen towards me. Helps you get straight lines, but not too straight. And I'll fill in everything here. I just did the month title May in a very, very simple loose cursive. And then of course I will add my typical YouTube title to the top here. I'm doing that in just like a really fun, simple print. And then again, pulling the pen towards my body, I'll add that nice straight line. Now, I always add all of the videos in here, and I just have a little sort of a list so that I know which ones are done, which ones are started. And if you guys are wondering what's coming up each month, I post the schedule on my Instagram, so make sure to follow me at Shayda Campbell and you can see what's coming up every month. And then I'm gonna place a little fern over in the corner here, and this one is a little more doodly, and you can see the leaves are just these simple ovals, and it looks really sweet and super simple to draw. And it's a great filler of space. All right, so let's flip to the next page, and this is a fun project. I am doing a major to-do list. May is a big, hairy month for me. I have to do my taxes and get all my files in order. I'm not even doing my taxes, but I have to get everything in order so someone else can do them, and just that is stressful, and I have a bunch of other sort of things that I need to cross off my to-do list. So I'm gonna make all of these hairy tasks pretty, and I'm gonna write them all down so that they all get done. And what I'm doing here is just starting with a rectangle in the center of the page. I've left two little spots unlined, one on the left and one on the right. And then I'm going around and I'm just doing leaf and floral, mostly leaf doodles. This is all about the leaves and ferns this month. You can see I've worked a leaf sort of into the rectangle on the right-hand side there, and I'll do the same on the left. That just helps the design have a little more flow, and it is botanicals, right? So it should look like it's a little bit moving and the leaves are curling over. So you can leave those, as many of those spots as you like when you're going over it with your ruler. But I'm just doing two. Here I'll do another one where I fill in and add the leaf flowing over the edge. And yeah, all of these were really simple shapes, just leaves. I love drawing leaves because they're so simple. They're very relaxing to draw. And I'm just finishing this up here, and then I will do my big scary to-do list, but it's so pretty to look at. And hopefully that will inspire me to do things like, you know, make sure I have every receipt filed and all that fun stuff. So there we go. There's gonna be a lot more than 4 circles there when I finish, but I'm gonna leave that for now. I've gotten rid of any pencil markings, and I'm really liking this. Doing some sort of circle like a rectangle or square, and then doing flowers or leaves coming out from that straight line or curved line as it may be is such a fun design element, and you can use it in so many ways. Title pages, to-do lists, what have you. Now the last thing I'm gonna do is just get started with one weekly layout for the first week of May. I'm using the same one that I did in April, where we put the days of the week on the outsides of the pages. This is a 2-page weekly spread, and I leave a big area in the center. I use marker for the days of the week, or like the numbers of the week. I'm also going to do the month of May in marker because it is such a short month. It fits nicely there. And then I'll use my pen to just put a little bit of shadow, and I do that by just lining all of the right-hand sides of each letter. You could also do the right and the top, or whatever. You could do the left, but super simple trick. It looks really pretty. And then of course I'll highlight the days of the week, again just using my warm gray marker from Faber-and-Castell. If you want a similar marker, I will link those in the description. And then in the middle, I love this layout because every week you have a space for an illustration. Poppies, ferns, whatever. I'm going to continue with my theme, and I'm going to do like a hanging potted fern. And I've just started with a semicircle for the pot dot, you draw the strings there, and then you do these lines going off in every direction and just add these long, sort of thin oval shaped leaves along the length of each line, and it comes together really, really nicely. And the hanging pot sort of doodle is a great one for filling in the center of the page because it has sort of a very symmetrical, balanced look to it. So I'm quite pleased with that. And I'm going over it in pen first, and then I'm just trying to decide if I should add color. I could just color it in with a little bit of green and a little bit of line shading, and of course some more gray. I think I might. Anyways, that's what it looks like when it's all done. And that is my May journal. Well, I want to say thank you again to Skillshare for sponsoring our video today. As you guys know, they have so many relevant classes on illustration and watercolor and hand lettering. This one that I found by this wonderful artist, Gemma from Australia, is all about all the things that we love on this channel, lettering and florals and illustration, and she just does these incredibly beautiful floral lettering projects. I was really taken with the detail, also the quality of the course. Her filming is really beautiful. And just look at her studio. I'm like, why doesn't my studio look like that? Like full of plants and a white brick wall. But then something that also really struck me was look at the class projects here at the bottom. These are from people that took the class. So it's pretty cool to see the quality of work coming out of that class. Remember, the first 500 people to use the link will get a free Skillshare trial, so click the link in the video description. Thanks for watching today, guys. Come visit me on Instagram. Make sure to hit that subscribe button, and I will see you soon with a new tutorial.